If you're still riding with a normal shift pattern, hear me out. I switched my Yamaha R6 into GP shift. Not because I race professionally, but it actually made more sense for the way I want to ride. And no, it's not just because GP riders do it. Firstly, what is GP shifting? A normal motorcycle shifts like this. You have 1 down and 5 up. But GP shifting flips it. You have 1 up and 5 down. So instead of lifting your foot to go into a higher gear, you simply press down. So why do racers use it? Now picture yourself exiting a left corner at a high speed. With a normal shift pattern, you have to wedge your foot under the shifter while the bike is leaned over at very extreme angle. And there's very little room between your boot and the pavement. But GP shift lets you press down to go upshift instead. And that's just one less awkward movement while the bike is loading and accelerating. And that's the reason race teams have used GP shift for years. Not because it makes you magically faster, and it makes the corner exit much easier when you're riding at very high limits. Do you really need GP shift to ride to work? No. But I do a lot of spirited riding, and I want to get into track days a lot more often. I'd rather build muscle memory now than relearn it later. Consistency matters. If I ever spend more time on track, I don't want to be switching between 2 different patterns. But that doesn't mean GP shift is better for everyone. If you only commute and casually rides on the street, there's honestly very little advantage to it. In fact, switching will have to completely retrain your muscle memory, and that's something you need to take more seriously before making that change. If your bike has adjustable rear set or a shift linkage like my R6, converting it is usually pretty straightforward. But don't just switch it and head straight into traffic. So no, GP shift won't instantly make you faster. But if your goal is performance riding or eventually hitting the track, I think it's worth learning early. So would you ever switch to GP shift, or are you staying with a standard pattern? Let me know in the comments. And as always, stay safe out there.